for the Nami Lucian to play into, but getting ahead in the first place doesn't seem all that, reliable. It feels like you do rely on that jungler to sort of gain you some advantage. As we do see the level 1 positionings here.
Okay, everything's looking fairly standard. We do have the Ghost on the Kazante instead of the Flash. Makes sense up against the Gwen as well. Aftershock on WSL in the jungle.
Yep, and Yubel opting for that phase rush instead of the Spellbook.
Also has the Corrupting Pot, so really respecting the early game that can come out of Zhao 2 here. It is, I think, a bit difficult to start tier in this matchup. There is a lot of kill pressure from the Vex if she gets just a couple good trades. The resolve from Zhao 2 is really interesting. I honestly think it's kind of useless up against Ryze, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see which resolve
it was
tree.
Bone Plating and Overgrowth.
So maybe a bit of survivability when you do see that Lee Sin come to pressure you. I guess maybe, hope to live through that sort of gank. We do see actually opposite side jungle start. So Junji opting to start and head towards bot. Meanwhile, WSL is starting his bot side and likely to head towards top, although maybe we can see level 3 sort of option towards bottom.
And normally when we see Lucian Nami matchups, they typically fall behind in levels 1 and 2, right, before they really come online. But the Galio just does not have the lane pressure necessary to force that. So Lucian Nami, from the get-go, are just going to start building up their lead.
Yeah, and even Xayah, one of the weaker sort of champs, level 1. Obviously, if you do have Rakan, that changes a little bit. But yeah, we are seeing Lucian Nami sort of get ahead earlier than general. As top lane looks to be going really well for Lucana, at least early levels.
Wako getting insanely aggressive bot. Gets a lot of damage on the Pepper and was almost under his tower there. But yeah, the other lanes still going fine here for Dewish team. GG, it's around mid. The point and click Ryze EW.
Is flashed away from. Well done by Zhao 2 to avoid that, but with his flash now down, do have to be a lot more careful. Yubel's being down too does give him a little bit more room to breathe, but certainly scary to have no flash on the Vex here.
WSL is around. He has flash.
Yeah, Yubel does not.
Oh, Yubel. I think he's avoided the window successfully. That was actually very, very close and good hugging by him. Bot lane, though, very, very vulnerable, and I could see Jinjia just walk down here, especially knowing that WSL shouldn't be on this side of the map.
Yeah, and there is no longer any pots for this Galio, so what he has consumed now will be it. And look at the amount of sustain still available for PSG. They really haven't felt any pressure. Pepero, in fact, still only level 1, takes a massive trade. You have to feel like Junji is going to come down here. Flash is available for Xayah, but no heal.
And they're very, very low. Jinji's cutting them off. Two lands.
Will have the taunt, so has to be careful here.
They can play it slow, though. TP
Teleport coming in. Massive bubble. Does actually secure the first blood. Lakane down here now is trying to get something done on the Gwen as Junji turns around and we've gone mid lane.
I think Wako should be able to get out. Yeah, in
Flash
fact,
heal.
Can they get anything else? Don't think so. They actually might have overstayed here on the side of PSG.
Yeah, WSL's headed down there. Very low on Lucana and Inho. Zhao2 and WSL. Junjia will fall to WSL here, and it feels like you just have to go try and get one of these kills as the bot lane, but they will both be going down ultimately.
PSG, they massively overstay there. I'm not sure why they stayed around so long, but we're able to cross from mid to Dewish team mid jungle there and get down there. Still though, overall, despite it being a 3-to-1 trade, it's not awful, I feel like, for PSG, right? You still managed to deny Pepero a lot of creeps. You also denied quite a lot top, just because Lacuna was forced to invest the TP. So let's look how it started. I mean, it starts out really well. There's already a lot of damage dealt. They're just waiting for another wave. And I think all this is completely fine, right? They get the kill on the Pepero. It does go over to Woody, but at this point, it looks amazing, right? They've got the kills. TP is invested. I think if you just back out here, you're completely fine. But in the meantime, Yubao got ganked mid, you see on the map, which means they're going to be able to come down. Even here, can still possibly get out. But actually, Woody, committing both sums to coming over the wall. And now it's just too late. You can't really get out. You're kind of forced to turn around. But wisely, Dewish team, they just kind of, make sure to keep them interested, but also not die. And Dewish team clean up all 3 kills at the back of this.
Yeah, it was a massive trade there for Dewish team, and hopefully they can sort of progress further in this and make use of it, although the gold lead is actually still in favor of PSG regardless of that happening. So the CS really counting there.
Yeah, they've still got the CS leads in all 3 lanes here.
WSL looks bot, but nothing to be done.
And perhaps looking mid again. Both mids are flashless. Yubao has the Rise ult, which we've seen used to great effect time and time again. And we'll be able to get a lot of priority over this mid lane, although neither side lane looks particularly gankable, at least for now.
Yeah, Ozzy's slowly working away. Already got one of those tower plates during what was happening bot, I presume.
Yeah, he's getting good trades. I mean, this could maybe set up Yubao to come topside, although Jinji is playing towards bot. Yubao's in the river. They might look for a Rise ult down here if the Dewish team bot lane shows. Okay, they wisely back up, so respecting that Rise ult. But, I mean, look at the CS that you have to give up as a result, right? Even Yubao, if he doesn't actually commit the ult, it still creates pressure on the bot lane.
Yeah, constant pressure, and that's just one thing PSG have kind of excelled at, right? Especially when they get this Rise. They really just come in and out of vision, and you've seen them get kills from it so often. But often enough, it just means that pressure is diverted elsewhere, and we do see WSL looking down here. Woody looks very out of position, will get hit by the Vi. Follow up, but here comes the round warp. Rise will arrive. WSL rooted up by the Rune Prison, and now going on to Pepero with that phase rush. Rune Prison will still be a few seconds away. Xiaotu does come out. Yubao very low. Xiaotu picks up the kill there. Now Junji in the middle of 3 of them will also go down. So these trades start off looking good pretty consistently and end up bad for PSG as Woody also goes down there at the bottom.
Oh, he actually connects the last one, but no fear.
And no mana left, so Wako should be okay here. Although does get knocked up there. Will get the kill on Galio and almost Pepero.
Oh, he
does
has
have
flash. Oh, so close.
Oh my goodness.
The mana? I mean, this is pretty crazy, though. A team finally able to match PSG in these skirmishes, and somehow it's Dewish team. They're still down in gold, but 6 kills to 3, and these kills, like, I feel like they almost shouldn't have picked them up. So the fact that they've, team fought this well, credit to Dewish team. But let's look how this started. So the initial gauge on the Woody, honestly, I don't think is that good. They don't manage to take him out in any reasonable time. They miss the Galio taunt, and the Rise ult comes down as well. So WSL, he dies very early, and this looks just done and dusted. Typical PSG. But after this, I think they kind of overchase. Pepero, he still has the flash, and I think didn't even need to invest it until the end. Yubao, he gets so low. He can't even clean up Pepero. And then off to the back of it, very well played by Enhao on the Galio. Also, Xiaotu hits every Vexol here just to end up cleaning up all the members. So, I mean, I just can't believe that Dewish team, once they've been eliminated from playoffs, are here actually contesting PSG in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. And while this replay has been gone, the Rift Herald did go down, I believe, to the team of PSG.
So close here.
Goodness.
So many times as well. That's a very long replay.
It certainly was. And now Lee Sin does have that Rift Herald. Dragon is the answer here by Dewish team, and WSL might be a bit low. Also level 5 to Lee Sin's level 6, so a huge disparity in what the junglers can kind of get done here.
Now the Herald, I think, can go bot. Just keep getting gold onto Wako and Lucian. They still have a pretty significant lead in the 2v2. 2 kills picked up by Enhao on the Galio, but aren't going to be particularly valuable. And, despite the kills being down, PSG do find themselves with this 1k gold lead. A lot of that is in that top lane, right? I think Plade's taken for Arjun and has, a big CS lead for himself there.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of quietly up in that top lane, right? RJ is just getting himself this quite a big lead, really. So the Gwen counterpick not looking like it's getting done what they expected, but overall, the whole map fairly equal, just a 1k gold lead.
Top tower is looking very low. I mean, I guess this is somewhat because of that early TP to bot, but the outcome of that was still pretty good, right? Like, actually got a kill. Imagine how bad this would have been if PSG had just backed off. Could freeze the wave here and perhaps deny a little, but yeah, take a look at the gold. A lot of it is just an RJ who has an 800 gold lead over his opponent here. And that top tower, it's heraldable now, so I wonder if we'll just see Jinjia go up and break that early, or if they want to try use it somewhere else.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them use it top here. Arze is extremely good at pushing a lead that he's given. Teleport is used by Gwen. Junjie in the top side, and you do really want to get rid of that Rift Herald sort of as soon as possible as the Lee Sin, as long as it's obviously a good usage.
Both junglers are on the top side, so if Herald is used top, there won't be any trade on bot. At the same time, I mean, Dewish team's mid jungle is actually pretty strong here. You got 2 kills on Zhao and has the Ignite up as well. Can they look for him though? I mean, he has Flash. Junjie is going to be spotted on a ward here. Both junglers are in the area. Ooh,
Yeah.
Icy walks away.
I'm not sure if it's normal, but he does have the cooldown boots here on the Vex, which means he will be doing slightly less damage to both the Cassante and the Ryze, who already have a bit of early game magic resist.
Yeah, interesting choice. I wonder if he just based with awkward gold and couldn't quite afford the Sork shoes. So I think they're definitely better on the Vex, but certainly not bad, right? The ability haste is still valuable, as well as the Sun cooldown.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do feel like maybe, you know, I find generally mid laners, when they don't have that correct amount of gold, just opt for the Dark Seal. You know, you get so much power out of that if you do end up stacking. And just by default, it has like decent stats for the 350 gold it costs.
I am a Dark Steel enjoyer, so couldn't agree more. Herald will be dropped bot side. Gonna get some plates onto Waka's Lucian here, hopefully.
Yeah, using the culling, so actually takes Inhale down quite low, but there is a 4-man response coming from Dewish team. Ryze in the wings, ready to use Realm Warp as well.
Oh, it connects. I don't think Junjie can take this, though. Would be taken down in rather short order.
Yeah, it would be immediately fed into what's likely to be a Vial, but smart to not use it as we go back and look top lane again, and it seems like RJ is just kind of extending his lead bit by bit.
Yeah, slowly and surely is building himself up and nicely. The gold lead, it continues to increase, although remains not too shabby, right? It's not amazing. It's relatively close still for both teams. I think, again, we're always looking at that kind of like 3 to 4K to where things really start to blow open, right? To where you can start diving or taking significant amounts of their jungle. So at least for now, we haven't passed that point.
Yeah, but the power of PSG's bot lane has just increased a whole lot with the Imperial Mandate and the Gale Force being completed. So you really have to be so careful as Dewish team's bot lane now to not just get immediately killed.
Will they just look to break tower? Because like you said, they've got the Gale Force and the Mandate. And while Gale Force is completed by Pepero, you know, Enhao is still very weak at this stage of the game. And I think as long as Yubao can get priority, perhaps ward bot, this could be bot tower actually dropping. But right now, Dewish team, they have significant control of the river. So PSG's bot lane can't push too aggressively.
And we haven't seen a dragon be done yet, and it doesn't even look like still either team is really looking to take it. But control is established for Dewish team.
And the blue does go the way of Vine. Yubao has this control. Looks like they might cross to bot. I think they are going to try and break this bot lane tier 1.
WSL will spot them out though, both on the ward and while he sits in that bush.
Maybe just feel too scared to actually check in this river. Could instead play towards top side. They know RJ is strong and have the Herald spawning in just 30 more seconds.
Yeah, and it looks like up there RJ is proxy farming or something of the likes. Finishes Juxshow, so not the traditional Cassante build. You generally do see that Frost Fist.
Now Dragon, could it be started up here from Dewish team? I'm not even sure it can. I think if you start it and then have to fight into the Lucian Nami, so Spike doesn't even feel that good. But RJ, in the 1v1, it's just taken 4 plates and a 30 CS lead for himself. Again, it's somewhat because of that early TP, but obviously is making this work.
Yeah. He's really like, every time you look, he's kind of gained 10 more CS up on the Kunai, and WSL looked like he was looking to go in, but not quite being in range of the ult, and he does land it there, but he's, wow.
Nami mechanics.
I didn't even know that was a thing, so there you go.
Okay, what a beast. All right, so the Dragon has started up, but I think this could be a mistake. They don't have the Vial now. I'd be surprised if they turn back on this. I think this is bad here from Dewish team.
Yeah, it looks, I think you're just going to receive a culling here and lose quite a lot of health to both the Mandate and the First Strike Lucian. Q has landed, flash engaged by Galio, but kicked away. Very well played by Junjie. Culling is used. Inhao is very low as Yubel slowly works away on the bat line. They have landed an engage again. WSL is going to go down as well. There is Lucian picking up, I believe, 2 kills.
They might get one more at the back end.
Yeah, Realm Walk down onto Zaya. Does have that Feather Storm, will remain safe. Actually gets quite a lot of damage done. But first tower will go down top. Dragon will be taken. And you have to imagine bot lane tower as well. So just winning all over the map and gaining a bunch of kills.
Yeah, all of a sudden the game just completely opens up. I was really surprised that Dewish team tried to contest that after they'd used the Vial, right? I feel like that has to be used on Wako for you guys to win a fight. But without that, they just kind of get taken out, and now it was a 3-for-0. The Dragon picked up. Tier 1 top and Tier 1 bot both go over. Let's take a look at the replay. So there's no Vi or Flash, and I think that really limits your options for turning, right? It's not like you can easily go on U-bound and just take him out. You also can't stop Wako from just DPSing. They try with this Flash forward, but I just don't think it's as guaranteed, right? The Vex ult misses as well, and Dewish team, no engage tools left, can't get on U-bound on the side, and they're just all taken out. I really think Dewish team were actually in, you know, not a winning spot, but still in a very solid position before they started up that Dragon. And for what, right? It's the first drag at 14 minutes. Who even cares at this point?
You're absolutely right, and I have to give compliment there to Junjia, really. That Galio had flashed in, was charging up that taunt, and if he had landed it on enough people, maybe that team fight's a lot different, but Junjia hitting him with that Lee Sin kick really stopped him for that engage and just led to that win, I have to think.
PSG, oh my god, so much damage comes out of Pepper. There was just a couple of auto attacks there.
Not even Q landed. I guess he might have landed a crit with that rapid fire proc, but Pepper taken down to half after just Lucian passive.
I think the Herald will also be picked up.
And how low? Culling is used, but well blocked by WSL to keep his bottom lane alive.
I think this Herald can be used to open up that mid lane, and so much damage coming out of Wako might even just be able to force down the mid lane tower without even using the Herald. Or could even play for more, right? They're so strong at this point. Will they perhaps go for 2?
Well, they definitely will get this tower, you'd have to think, as it is used there. WSL on the side of the screen clearing off some vision. But here we have an engagement onto Zaltu, and he looks like he will just be going down. It'll be interesting to see how we got caught out, maybe just sort of walking through. As Cassante is in the middle of the team, Juxshow is procced, Pepero will have to use Featherstorm here to stay alive, as well as Gale Force. Yubel landing a lot of damage on the end there. Junjia going in there, might get a kill, but probably dies.
Very low health bars. I think PSG should be able to pick up another tower here if they want.
Yeah, and this Lucian is just so accelerated. Landing any of these passive auto attacks is taking off so much health of both the Galio and Pepero. Cassante, unstoppable again, will be able to just happily dash away.
He's not taking any damage whatsoever. Now 2 minutes on this drag. It's pretty pointless at this point. I think can kind of just safely ignore the drag for both teams and instead play for the Baron. The side of PSG definitely have a pretty good Baron here. WSL, they're looking for this pick. I mean, Zhao has ult. Yubao, though, once again sneaks away.
Yeah, and I kind of don't like the itemization here by WSL. I get that there's a bit of healing on the other side, but it just doesn't really achieve that much, I feel. I don't think the healing is that much that it's going to be the difference maker in a fight. And perhaps more, the Black Cleaver, which we have seen a lot more recently, does get a lot more done. And it is just a stronger item, right? The Black Cleaver offers so much.
You're the side of PSG here. I think you just continue to force fights. I mean, you're so strong across the whole board here. You definitely don't need to wait for these objectives to be up. If you can ever catch someone out, you can snowball the game even further. Baron is in 35 more seconds. Dragon coming up not long after.
Yubel does start, lands the Rune Prison onto Lacune. He does get away from now. Chirel is also used here by Inho.
Yeah, just poking, not quite committing to it. Oh, okay.
Will start an engage onto Woody, which will leave Wako okay in the backline. Woody is immediately killed. Doesn't quite hit a multiple man knock up there. As he coming in, he is absolutely massive. Scissor work, needlework is being used, sorry. Wako very low in the back line. Yubel only just escaping.
Okay.
Man, that's a huge amount of gold over to the side of Dewish team, and they are headed up towards this Baron.
I think this should be their Baron. I don't even think the side of PSG can stop them, and despite that massive gold deficit, they found a really good engage and also just a really good angle, right? They managed to get in that choke where Lakunai's scissor, or what was it? The needlework.
Yeah.
I was baited by you now. Just ends up cleaning them all up, right? So much damage there. And Dewish team, they're still going to be in a gold deficit after this, but this extends the game by, you know, at least a solid 5 or 6 minutes here.
Yeah, no, very well done by them. And they got kind of the ultimate way for them to win. They caught out Woody pretty much by himself, and no answer was to be seen there. And now they get the Baron off their team fighting. So, giving themselves another chance, which you love to see.
How wild would it be if the team that stops PSG's win streak is Dewish team? And take a look at the replay. So initially, they find the Kunai off on the side, right? They get a bit of damage onto him, and it looks like Dewish team are just going to back away. But, you know, after this, Woody, he kind of passed pretty greedily. He passed away from this Lucian here, I think. Is engaged on, they have the gallery follow-up, even flashes, but just so much damage onto him so early. And then I think that's actually not too bad, but fighting in the choke against the Gwen is just so bad. I think so much damage comes out here, hitting pretty much all 4 members the entire time. And it's just so difficult for the rest of the PSG members to really deal damage there. So again, really impressive team fighting from Dewish team.
Absolutely. As we jump back to the live game, it is only a 3k gold now. 3 people up in the top side, but it will be extremely hard to take down Azzy. Pepero having to use that Feather Storm early on in mid lane, so that is a massive cooldown, and it's really Zaya's main sort of safety net down now. If there is a team fight breakout, won't have it available.
Looks like they will just safely back away. The Dragon win condition is still pretty far away, and with this Baron as well, there's not much PSG can really do to accelerate the game other than make some picks. Lukunai is pretty pushed up, but actually does not have the Ghost up. I think he will be fine though. Don't think there's anyone close enough. But Dewish team, I mean, I think they're still at least a little behind, but they find themselves with a very real chance of winning this game.
Okay, and Vi was spotted out, but does manage to get away. Massive poke there landed onto, wow, and the ult to finish it off. Shadow Surge really gets it done there.
Xiaotu kind of smurfed that as well. Really well played. Perhaps they can get more. They've managed to close the gold difference from what was, I think, about 6 or 7k to now just 2. And with this Baron, they've still got 45 more seconds. Maybe can get one more tower?
Yeah, they are trying to go for it. Ubel does have to be careful there. Cease and desist is still up for Vi.
Yeah, can still look for some turn. Okay, looks like they're going to back out. So a lot of gold brought back from Dewish team. They've managed to bring it back to only being down a little more than 1k.
Yeah, and importantly, Navori Quickblades is finished on the Xayah. That's a massive power spike for that champion. So teamfights looking like they could only be getting harder from here on out for PSG.
See what happens to Waku here. So I think he just gets caught by some of the feathers. I'm not even sure. Okay, no, he got feared by Vex, and then the ult comes through. And then, you know, Xiaotu goes in and immediately flashes, I think, the bubble that came after. So really well played by him. Also picked up 800 gold, which is certainly nice, right? Okay, the Rise ult comes through. Xiaotu does not have flash.
Yeah, this Xiaotu will be killed here. Well played by the side of PSG.
It's a nice pickup, but there is no objective, at least for the meantime. So it is just a kill, and we'll leave it at that. 2 more minutes still on the drag, and they don't really even have much of a bot wave to siege this. So surprised the Kunai even halted that. But
yeah, needlework for 3 minions, but I guess it's just making sure they don't lose anything. Not that I think they would have.
Yeah, now PSG, with that being down, might actually be able to take this tower.
They're certainly positioning for it, and you have to think it will go down, although Gwen is now immune.
Yeah, I think PSG probably should just back away from this. Although, without the Gwen ult, maybe you just don't need to respect it all.
Yeah, and as he's starting to get pressure on that mid wave, but again, the waves are not synced, so probably will just get cleared out by the wave clear of Xayah.
1 minute on the third dragon. I think both teams will be angling to contest once again. Wako is trying to find something before this fight starts.
Absolutely is.
Yet.
1 minute also for Rod of Ages to finish upgrading on the Rise, so that'll be a big spike. I wonder how close he is to level 15, because hitting level 16 and getting that extra damage on your Q could be a massive determining factor.
It is a lot of extra damage, especially if they end up fighting another choke, right? If you're up against the Gwen, Rise also can make pretty good use of that. Earlier in the game just wasn't really that strong, but Is now getting very, very close. 35 seconds left on this drag. This is normally when we see CFO already have the soul, so we are a little bit behind schedule, but it's fine.
Stopwatch picked up on Lucian, so a lot harder for the Vi to target him out specifically, although Woody has traditionally been the target this game.
I think Woody, if he just plays back far enough, they have to engage on Wako and then he has the stopwatch. I think that can let them win this fight.
I have to agree. Now, Ubel does get that upgrade, is level 15.
Will they be able to engage? I mean, Dewish team have the control. They're trying to find something, but it's much harder in the open. They don't have a choke to go on.
Yeah, as he just taking no damage. As culling is used onto Xiao 2, stopwatch forced. Gwen is immune in the middle there, but as he is just sort of hitting, Junjie hits a massive kick onto the Vex, does get her killed. Inhale gonna go down here too on the side, you have to think. Does manage to get the ult off, well, at least the shield off first. As he all out here. Lacune getting very low. Pepero gonna have huge feathers. Actually dodged out by Wako.
He does, and Baron's in just 12 more seconds, so it should go over to the side of PSG. Although their jungler's dead, maybe they don't want to start it. Could instead just play for an inhib.
Yeah, Vi is up and Lee Sin isn't, so just probably going to go for this dragon and have to wait out for Junji to be able to do the Baron. Don't want to risk flipping it and then Vi taking it, delaying the game even further.
So it is nice. I mean, they perhaps don't get as much as they'd like, but it's a team fight win and a drag. So let's take a look at the replay. I think you kind of struggle as Dewish team to find a way in, right? There's just so much area to play in, and Zhao 2 engaged on very early, as forced to Zonya, and then also misses the Vexel after. And it's just taken out by Jinjia with that nice flash kick. And then while Jinjia's like taken down, he's Vi-ulted, he doesn't have anything left to offer to the fight anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then Wako, all the cooldowns used and still full HP, is able to deal so much damage off the back end here when there's just nothing left to deal with them.
Yeah, great work there positioning by Wako. Certainly not the easiest team comp to position against, and having that Vi Galio as well as the Vex, but did well, and on the tail end there did pick up Pepero as well.
Baron could be looked at for the side of PSG here. Otherwise, they do have Baron in just 4 more minutes. I think starting the Baron could actually be bad with the engage. WSL, though, is getting chunked.
Yeah, Ozzy tanking out. WSL does dash away, but is quite low. Flash away from Zhao 2, but does get hit by Rune Prison first, very importantly. Unho also flashing away, so a lot of summoners being used here by Dewish team.
They're so low. I wonder if PSG just turned to the Baron, knowing the Dewish team have seemed unable to contest. I think they can just start it up. Yeah, looks like it will be.
Yeah, WSL having to back because of his health bar, and with that, you kind of just can take this Baron kind of uncontested, although we are looking mid here.
Yeah, just kind of two-manning it, but it takes a while without any of your DPS there. And this actually allows Dewish team time to get back on the map.
Although, yeah, Wako just kind of taking WSL back down to low health immediately.
Jinjia can just tank this forever, so doesn't worry too much. I think PSG, they still want the turn. They don't want to make it a flip. They're struggling to find it.
Yeah, Ozzy possibly positioning quite aggressively here to look for something. Is engaged on. Is a turn. Woody is Vi-ulted, follow up by the hero's entrance. On the backside, though, we do see Wako take down Zhao 2. Is very low, though. Gale forces away. Is out. There's a lot of low health bars here on PSG and not a whole lot of lifesteal. They do have Nami sustain, which is nice, and Ubel still full health there over in the side.
Culling's still up.
Yeah, Lacune does use that ghost and the needlework. Stopwatch will be used, followed by... Oh, he does get out, but with the relentless pursuit. WSL on very low health. Ubel does pick him up. On the side, though, we did see Arzi get taken down as well. Pepero playing these fights extremely well.
Ubel is trying to find what he can.
Round warp is up.
Oh, there's no shot. All right, 2 more minutes on the 4th Dragon. I mean, that fight was very close. I think actually very important there. PSG lost both flashes on their bot lane, which means they can be engaged on so easily in this next fight. While Wako has a GA, he can just spawn and get killed straight after, right? So potentially Dewish team with that fight might have actually set themselves up to win the next one. And Pepero will have flash for that as well.
Yeah, and it's still only a 4K gold lead, so game definitely within reach for Dewish team here.
I'm surprised PSG ended up losing this because I feel like the initial engage on the Archer, you know, it was survive, and Woody is able to flash over the wall before he goes down. But then I think just the fight ended up too split, and they couldn't really group and actually DPS. Jinjia as well kind of died for no reason there. And from then, they kind of struggled to recover.
Yeah, Zhao2 also hitting a critical flea there, or fear rather, onto Wacko, which was followed up by a lot of feathers, so very well played.
Hey, we
are going back to live.
Yeah.
Jinjia on the side, maybe looking for some crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, 1 minute on the 4th dragon, so something is going to break here soon.
Yeah, and you have to feel you cannot give Hextech Soul over here.
It's definitely one of the worst ones to give over. PSG, they're looking to control this Baron area. I mean, maybe just want to have the option of returning to Baron. They've always got the Rise ult, so it's very easy to rotate to it.
Wide channeling, but you don't want to really initiate onto this Cassante. He's immensely tanky. As culling is used, WSL is extremely low, and Eunho is jumped on by Jinjia.
Yeah, so much damage.
Lucian making so much use of that extended range as WSL does ult him. Followed up by the tidal wave. WSL will go down to Yubao now, and it's 3v5, so I believe Baron will be picked up here.
This should be Baron. Maybe Dewish team have time to go and do drag. I'm not sure.
You have to try, right? Like, you can't give up both.
Or maybe they want to try contest. No, it looks like Pepper will be going towards the dragon, so they'll trade something.
Is up.
Yeah, actually, they could probably stop this. Yeah, they're already running towards it.
Yeah, Yubao headed down there. I don't know who will make it in. Okay, importantly, Jinjia doesn't, but we are actually just fighting here in the mid lane. Peppero's taking Dragon down the bottom, but we do see Zhao2 go down as well as the Gwen. Peppero securing the Hextech Soul, well, Dragon rather, not the Soul, so it denies Soul from PSG. But losing this much as Peppero's also getting chased down, you feel like he has to die here to Yubao.
Yeah, I think Yubao should just be able to point and click him. The Galio comes out,
yeah,
though.
Hero's entrance does come in. Peppero does Gale Force away, maybe can escape.
Oh,
doesn't quite hit, and well.
Kills him with the bounce.
Yeah, Yubao just quick scopes into the back.
I think this could actually just be the end here. It's only WSL who does not have any wave clear. Enhao as well, extremely low.
Yeah,
double TP.
Yeah, nice flash kick there. WSL on them. Wow, he's just dead. And so is Galio. This will be the end of the game here. I mean, credit to Dewish team. Played extremely well as we do see these last 2 Nexus towers go down. It will be PSG picking up their 13th win and maintaining sole position of that first place by, I believe, 2 wins.
Yeah, it is PSG that get that win, but like you said, really well done, I think, from Dewish team. I feel like, you know, you're not expecting to beat the unbeatable PSG, but I think you can hold your heads high after that performance. They definitely kept it pretty close, and, you know, like we said at one point, they were, you know, that was a very winnable game in there, which not a lot of teams can say the same up against PSG. And I really like what they did with the comp as well, you know, just having a lot of that team fight. I still feel like the Galio was maybe a bit strange. I think I would have just preferred the Galio mid, but, I mean, the Vex mid looked good, right? So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Zhao2 did have, like, I think one of his better performances in this game, I'd have to say. Like, that Vex, he was finding a lot of fares onto important members in those team fights and got that really critical fight in mid where he picked up that 800 gold shutdown on Lucian. Really gave them even more of a hope after they started falling behind. Ultimately, though, not enough.
Not enough, but I think Dewish team, they definitely have some stuff to look forward to for Split 2. I wonder if just the way they performed is because they got the better draft than they normally do, or just because the fact they don't have much pressure on them, right? I think that's something that's kind of underrated. The fact that when you play up against these top